very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Happy Saturday night, and welcome to the Doc Watkins Show. Jazz Texas ain't going nowhere, y'all. We've got a great show ahead for you tonight. My special guest this evening is platinum-selling music producer Jason Goldman. He'll be joining me in just a minute. We're going to get to the music in just a sec, but first, let's have a look at the Jazz Texas news. After 29 years on the air, E! Entertainment News has been canceled. A network spokesman said that while it's at the end of an era, E! will figure out other ways to keep the American public informed on important issues, like what Khloe Kardashian orders at Starbucks. At a recent Astros athletics game, benches cleared and tempers flared during the 7th inning over Houston's sign-stealing scandal. The athletics players called the Houston's World Series championship garbage, to which the Astros responded by bringing out a trash can and banging on it. According to an article in USA Today, there are 100 things to do while stuck inside during a pandemic to make you feel better, including complete a puzzle, start a blog, write poetry, eat a pizza, and look at pictures of puppies. Things not to do while stuck inside during a pandemic: listen to Keith Urban, watch The Masked Singer, or plan on the Cowboys winning a Super Bowl. One of the world's most popular singing competitions is headed to the United States. The team behind the Eurovision Song Contest has announced the American Song Contest, a competition that pits singers against each other like no other before. Although I liked this first show, the first time I saw it, when it was called American Idol, The Voice, and The X Factor. Since the new format involves singers from different countries competing against each other, why didn't they just change the name of the show to North and South America's Got Talent, Africa's Got Talent, Europe's Got Talent, Asia's Got Talent, India's Got Talent, Australia's Got Talent, and Antarctica's Got Ice? A spokesman for Vladimir Putin has already promised that when the Russian singer performs, there will be no collusion. That's it for the Jazz Texas News. All right, we're going to get to some music here in just a minute, but first I'd like to offer a toast to everyone tuning in tonight, especially those of y'all that have ordered food and drinks from Jazz Texas this evening. We've been working hard since Tuesday, delivering food and offering curbside service here at Jazz Texas, and we hope y'all will consider dining with us and drinking with us and dancing with us regularly throughout these times until we can get our bar and our dining room back open here in person. But right now, this is the closest thing we can get to a real Jazz Texas night, so thank you so much for tuning in, and here's to many more years of music, food and drinks, and hospitality and friendship. Welcome to Jazz Texas, everybody. Cheers. That's delicious. By the way, that's a white Negroni, and we've got that on the menu. You can check it out just by going to our website or all of our social media channels. We're easy to find. Just look up Jazz Texas. We're everywhere. So we're going to get started with some music here. This is a tune by Duke Ellington called Don't Get Around Much Anymore. as Don't Get Around Much Anymore by the great Duke Ellington. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Doc Watkins Show tonight. It's so good to be with you this evening. I want to give a big shout out to my production crew back there behind the scenes, working all the audio this evening and for all our shows. Miss Caitlin Hill doing a wonderful job here. And also my main man back there behind the cameras, Chris Zients. With Wizard Broadcasting. Thank you guys for all you're doing. We want to remind you all we do have now the opportunity for you to support Jazz Texas during these insane, never before seen and hopefully never again seen times for jazz clubs like Jazz Texas. We've got some links there in the description to the live stream event that you can support us any way you choose. And we hope you also consider dining with us and drinking with us on a regular basis and watching the live streams. This is so much fun to do these shows for y'all, and we can't wait till we can have y'all back here in person and be dancing and hugging and kissing and the whole thing on the dance floor. So stick with us, everybody. All right, this next tune.